Today we're going to go over EnrollMe. When you first click on EnrollMe, it's going to take you to the Workflow tab. And in this Workflow tab, on the left-hand side, you're going to have a list of your enrollments. So if you were to click on one of these enrollments, it's going to bring up more information about that enrollment. And I'm going to point out a few things here. In the form status, EnrollMe is automatically going to use two statuses, started and submitted. The started status is an indication that they've begun their application, yet have not submitted it. Once they've submitted their application, it gets changed to submitted. And when they receive the submitted status, it's an indication that they're ready to be imported, which I will go over in a little bit. The next thing to go over is the link to student. The link to student is a way for you to link two students together in case a re-enrollment has accidentally re-enrolled as a new enrollment. And what this is going to do is when you import that information, it's going to merge them two together. Next is the import to family ID. This is in case this application is a sibling of another student that already exists. You can then select the family ID that is relevant to that. When you do the import, it's going to link those two together when the import occurs. Below that, you're going to have enrollment processing notes. Within here, you can take notes on that specific individual, and this is only going to be viewable by admins. Below that, you're going to have the enrollment form. And the enrollment form is a emergency contact list, essentially. It's going to include the student information, mother guardian information, any emergency contact information, and then it's going to include the physician and allergy information as well. So let's go over the online forms. And the online forms is going to be the forms that the parents look through when they begin their application. So it's automatically going to take you to the started screen. This is the first thing that they will see. And this is a default within EnrollMe. However, you can customize this if you give us the welcome letter and a logo or anything else you want to put on here. We can add that on for you. The next portion is the student, and this is where parents will first begin to fill out their information. So within here, any fields that are required, they have to fill out before they can move on. The next portion is the parent information. And within the parent information, the same concept applies. Any fields that are required, they have to fill out before they can move on. If they do check that first box, it's going to allow them to skip filling that out. This is in case they have a single parent, and then they don't need to fill that out. Parent 2 is going to be the same information here and the same concept. Any fields that are required to be filled out, they need to fill out before they move on. On the schools page, it's going to ask some general questions, and normally if they answer yes to those, it's going to ask them to fill out more information. Particularly though, with the first question, if they answer no, it's going to bring up more information for them to fill out, particularly about their prior principal, teacher contact, and prior schools. And this page, this schools page, is only going to apply to new enrollments. Re-enrollments won't be seeing this page at all. The next item is the family information. This is going to be where the student lives with, and are the parents divorced, as well as siblings. The only fields that are required to be filled out on this page are who the student lives with and are the parents divorced. The siblings, they don't need to fill out at all, and they can choose to skip that if they want to. The next thing to go over is the contacts. Within the contacts, you have 4 available to be inputted, and then you have authorizations. And you can add more authorizations if you want, but EnrollMe automatically uses OK to pick up and emergency contact only. The next portion is the medical information. Within the medical information, the doctor is required to be filled out, but the rest of the fields are not required to be filled out at all. If they do answer yes to the last 3 questions though, they do have to fill out more information. And this is going to be detailed places where they can fill out such information. So they can fill out the medications they take and describe the regimen for that medication. The next portion to cover is the worship information. What you see here is all the available worship questions we have. They're defaulted. you can choose to eliminate some of these if you don't need them. And to do that, you would just let us know and we can go ahead and do that for you. You can also add in custom content on this page. The next portion is just the submit page. And from here, they would just initial their name or type out their name, and then they would click submit. And what this does is it takes them back to the start page. In which case, we can change this start page to something specific, such as a post submit page, and then from there, you can ask them to fill out certain forms. So let's go over how to import a student. To import a student, you go back to the workflow tab, and then this is where you want to change their status to approved. And when you've done that, you're going to see that it says import pending, and this lets you know that they're ready to be imported. So from here, you want to go to the import tab, and then you would click on create import. And what this does is creating a table of where that information is going to be going to and where it's going to be imported. And then you're going to have a run import button, and then you would just run import, and that would import that student. Once you run the import, the student will be available to be added into classes, and attendance can be taken, and reports can be run for that student. So let's go over the EnrollMe reports. The first report you see is a workflow details, and this is a shorthand version of the workflow, and it's going to be ordered by time. So the most recent item is going to be at the top. The next report to look at is the export all EnrollMe data to Excel. And what this is, it's an Excel sheet that contains all of your enrollments, and on this sheet, you can then filter through specific information you're looking for. So say you want to look for, is this student Catholic? Then you can find that field, and then once you find that field, you can then sort through that information and only be viewing that information. It's a good way to find information that you need. So the next thing to cover is the enrollment levels. And this is going to be an indication of how your enrollments are coming along. And it's going to be ordered by grade level, and only grade levels that exist are going to show up here. So if no enrollments of first graders have applied, they're not going to show up. Otherwise, you have some third graders, second graders, and fifth graders. And then you're going to have the form statuses, an indication of how many students exist in that status. The next thing to go over is the not re-enrolled, and this is an indication of any students in your database that have yet to re-enroll. So from here, you can go ahead and give them a call or send them an email through the Communicate tab. The prospects is only going to be relevant if you're taking use of family prospects. What family prospects is it's a way for parents to fill out a form, and then once they fill out that form, they're going to show up here, and they're pretty much going to be a lead that you can follow up with. The next thing to go over is just some email settings that you can set. So if you go to settings and then email settings, the email settings are just automated emails that get sent for certain statuses. So in this case, if they receive a started status, they receive this email. And you can customize this for any specific emails you want, and you're welcome to disable this if you don't need this feature at all. Now let's go over where you can find the new enrollment link and how you can enable EnrollMe for parents. So you want to go to the settings tab on the far left hand side. On the settings tab on the far left hand side, you get it automatically placed in the parent tab. Within here on the bottom, you're going to notice two EnrollMe features. In default EnrollMe tab, this is going to default EnrollMe tab if they have not completed their application. And you can check this if you don't want that feature at all. Then you can hide EnrollMe tab for certain grade levels. Also, you're going to be able to hide the re-enroll tab on the parent interface. What this does is going to allow you to hide the ability for parents to re-enroll when they log into GradeLink. Otherwise, if you want them to be able to re-enroll, you want to uncheck this box. The next thing to go over is where the new enrollment link is, and you can find this in marketing. The new EnrollMe URL for new families, this is the link you want to either give out to families via email, or you can put this on your website and they can click on it, and then it'll take them here. And from here, they can create an account, which is going to be only limited to EnrollMe. And then once they create an account, they can then complete the enrollment process. So that's going to cover the enrollment walkthrough. And if you do have any other questions, feel free to contact us.